The life of man is a constant struggle for existence with the certainty of defeat. Arthur Schopenhauer. She smiled at your scars, not because she wished them healed, but because they proved you bled for her. You were told women desire strength, but what they truly crave is the sight of strength that suffers for them. Schopenhauer saw it clearly, writing, "The fundamental fault in the character of women is that they have no sense of justice. And justice, my brothers, begins with gratitude for sacrifice. Yet to her, your sacrifice is not a debt she owes. It is simply the natural order of things. You have been deceived not by her malice, but by your own illusions. You believe that by loving her purely, suffering for her openly, you would earn her admiration. But in truth, your suffering was never a burden to her. It was your offering." And on women, Schopenhauer states, "Women exist in the main solely for the propagation of the species." This is not a condemnation. It is an unveiling. For propagation demands more than love. It demands strength, endurance, and suffering. You suffer, you strive, you build. Because your survival proves useful to life itself. This is why the smiling approval of a woman is never given freely to the carefree man. It is reserved for the man who breaks himself, who bleeds silently under the weight of duty, who hides his pain beneath an armor of resolve. She does not seek your endless victories. She seeks your ability to carry endless burdens without complaint. In the biological drama of existence, women have evolved to admire not the strong in peace, but the strong in pain. Schopenhauer, in his brutal clarity, warned that nature made women short-sighted about anything beyond immediate needs. Nature has endowed woman for her protection and defense with the art of dissimulation. If her instincts lead her to test your strength through demands, trials, even indifference, it is not villain. It is survival. In her world, only the man who endures earns his place. And so, she becomes both the mirror and the forge of male greatness, unconsciously crafting the man through the very suffering he believes he must hide. But the modern man, raised on illusions of equality and sentiment, finds himself enraged or broken by this truth. He expects women to honor ease, simplicity, vulnerability. He forgets that vulnerability to the primal mind signals weakness, and weakness demands rejection. The truth Schopenhauer pointed to was never that women are evil, only that they are loyal to the harsh laws of nature. When she loves with the whole strength of her being. But at the bottom, there is always something selfish, he wrote. Selfish not in cruelty, but in necessity. And so, brother, when you wonder why your endless kindnesses, your soft words, were unnoticed, remember, it is not hatred that made her indifferent. It is that suffering without pride is invisible to her instincts. The man who suffers and rages is still enslaved. The man who suffers and understands, he is free. Schopenhauer taught that life itself is suffering, and that human desires are little more than the strings that keep us tied to pain. To expect that a woman, herself a creature of nature, should transcend the very forces that shaped her is to misunderstand life itself. He wrote, "Woman is by nature meant to obey, not as a statement of dominance, but as a reality that reflects the necessary tension between masculine creation and feminine selection. A man builds, a woman chooses, a man endures, a woman rewards the one who endures best." If you feel anger in hearing these words, it is not because they are untrue. It is because they threaten the illusions you were taught to cling to. You were not born to be loved for your tenderness, for your sweetness, for your intentions. You were born to be tested by life, by fate, and yes, by her. And when you pass these tests, not with bitterness, but with a knowing smile, you rise above the invisible game. Schopenhauer observed that the intellect of women bears the same relation to that of children as their body does to that of men. That is, it is attuned to immediate concerns, to the personal, the tangible, the survival of the moment. She does not plot your downfall. She is merely tuned to a different frequency, one where comfort is secondary to security, and where the man who stands unbroken in storms is the man who deserves devotion, not pity, not admiration for trying, only for triumphing. And triumph is suffering, refined into strength. The error of the modern man is that he seeks sympathy where he should seek respect. He bears his wounds to her, hoping for healing, when it is only stoic scars that awaken her loyalty. You are not called to hide your pain because pain is shameful. You are called to master it. Consider how even in ancient tales, the heroes who won the hearts of women were not the gentlest or the most accommodating. They were the ones who bore exile, battle, humiliation, even death, and yet did not yield. Achilles who wept but fought. Odysseus who suffered but returned. Men who understood that life's pain is not a personal injustice, but a crucible for the soul. In that crucible, your suffering is not a curse. It is a forge, and if she seems to desire your suffering, it is not because she hates you. It is because deep within, she longs to witness your ascension. To see a man rise, not untested, but unbroken. To suffer not in despair, but with dignity. The more you resist this truth, the more you will suffer uselessly. But when you embrace it, when you accept that your struggle is not only inevitable, but essential, you will stop begging for approval and start commanding respect. It is not hatred that women bring to the male spirit. It is a mirror that reflects whether that spirit is ready to bear the crown of life. A crown earned not in comfort, but in scars. She does not make you suffer to destroy you. She makes you suffer to reveal you. And if you understand this, you will no longer fear her nature. You will bless it. The wise man does not wage war against the nature of women. He does not curse the storm. He builds a stronger ship. Schopenhauer's warnings were never calls to hatred. They were calls to understanding. He wrote, "To marry is to have one's rights and double one's duties." Understand this not as cynicism, but as preparation. A man must not expect the woman to change. He must change his expectations, fortify his character, and master his soul. If a woman finds power in your suffering, let it not be the suffering of a man broken by the weight of his own illusions. Let it be the suffering of a man who bears the heavy crown of life without complaint. When you embrace your struggle, when you carry it without seeking pity, without begging for gratitude, you cease to be a boy crying for validation. You become a man who exists beyond it. Your strength must not be in the absence of pain, but in the presence of it. Endure not for her gaze, but for your own reflection. Suffer not to earn her love, but to sharpen your spirit against the inevitable hardships of existence. And if in doing so you earn her admiration, it will not be because you sought it. It will be because you transcended the need for it. Schopenhauer, the bleak philosopher of existence, still believed in moments of beauty amidst the cruelty of life. He did not hate women. He pitied men who misunderstood them. The man who understands can find in a woman not an enemy, but a force of nature. A wind that either dashes weak ships against the rocks or carries strong ships into the vast unknown. And so, my brothers, you must build yourselves into men who do not plead for softness, where nature demands strength. You must see women not as the judges of your worth, but as the reflections of your readiness. If she challenges you, if she seems indifferent, if she tests you, see in it not treachery, but training. She brings the flame not to burn you, but to temper you. The solution is not withdrawal nor resentment. It is sovereignty. Build your life first. Ground yourself in purpose deeper than her approval. Cultivate strength so profound that whether she adores you or abandons you, your spirit stands unmoved. And when you engage with women, do so not from a place of need, but from a place of fullness. Then, and only then, will you truly live harmoniously with women, not as a boy craving comfort, nor as a cynic seeking vengeance, but as a man who knows that love at its highest is not the escape from suffering, but the meeting of two warriors who have survived it. You were not born to be pitied. You were born to be revered, and only through fire is reverence earned. Schopenhauer pointed the way. The rest is yours to walk. Stand tall. Suffer well. Rise beyond the game. If this message struck something deep within you, if it woke a truth you always felt but could never quite name, then I ask you to stand with us. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel so we can continue speaking the truths. Your support is not just for the channel. It's for a movement of choosing strength, clarity, and sovereignty. You'll find the support link in the description below. Together, we rise beyond the illusions.